What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Thursday morning edition of the PrizePicks Prep Show here at FTNFantasy.com. My name is Zach Graham, aka Kawaisenberg DFS, ready to jump into today's MLB and WNBA slates. Also, going to slip a little PGA pick in there from the great Alex Blickel. Hope everybody is having a good morning, having a good week. In the middle of the NBA draft right now, first ever in my lifetime, 2-day draft. So if you are, tuned in over there to the happenings in the draft, you can check out our live blog here at FTN Fantasy. Myself, Mike Randall, Newts Christensen, Walt Waddell, giving our takes as they happen, live reactions to all the picks. You can find that live blog at FTN Fantasy from last night, and then we're going back live here today, 4 p.m. Eastern for the second round. So looking forward to that. Unfortunately, our friends at PrizePicks, Underdog, Sleeper, Boom Fantasy, don't have any NBA draft props up, so we can't talk those here on the prop show. But let's go ahead and get into the picks, and we'll head to the MLB PrizePicks tool here at FTN Fantasy, which you can see on the screen. And only one MLB pick for me here this morning, and it's going to be Jordan Montgomery and a more than selection of his fantasy score prop that's set at 24.5. Now, Alex already gave out some plays for Underdog this morning in the Pick'em Games channel of the FTN Fantasy Discord. Jordan Montgomery on Underdog was at 23.5. Last I looked, just right before the stream here, they had pulled that number down. We'll see if it pops back up, maybe at 24.5, maybe a hair higher. But you look in the FTN model here, you can see in the tool, projected for a hair over 28.5 pitcher fantasy score here today, going up against the Twins is Montgomery. You check out what we've got in Vegas on this game. Looks like almost a pick'em there between the Diamondbacks and the Twins here today. This game at home for Jordan Montgomery. So the tool likes it. I like it. Jordan Montgomery more than 24.5 fantasy score is our first pick here on our Thursday. And that is an early first pitch, I believe 3:40 p.m. Eastern there in Arizona. You can see Alex saying, what's the Sixers' next move? So we will divert here into some NBA draft talk just momentarily. I like the McCain pickup last night. I think Paul George would be the move that I would make there. I know he wants 4 years, though, so I could understand if there's some hesitation from you or any other Sixers fan or just the Sixers themselves. But it's win now, right? With where Embiid is at in his career, especially considering the injuries. Like, he's still at an MVP level. I would expect him to be there at least next season, if not for the next few. But the back half of his career is coming up quick, right? I think he's about to be 30 next year. Obviously, a lengthy injury history with those lower body issues. So he's 30 already. Right, so by the playoffs next year, he's going to be 31. This is still very much win now, and I think Paul George as your third fiddle there would work pretty nicely. But again, maybe a Brandon Ingram gets in there. They've got, they can replace that Tobias Harris space, but then they're going to also have to rely on maybe some of those other ancillary pieces taking some team-friendly deals, a Kyle Lowry, a Nick Batum, guys like that. I think you still want those veterans around. So again, you can go check out the live blog from last night and check it out 4 p.m. Eastern today. We'll go live with all of the second round picks. So it's nice that Alex is there in the chat because I'm taking this pick right from him here on PrizePicks. If you look at the PGA board, we've got Matt Wallace here teeing off, I think, right around 1 p.m., a little before 1 p.m. Eastern there. Matt Wallace, more than 4.5 birdies or better. Alex, in our discussions this morning, he's extremely high on this Wallace prop here. I know over on Underdog, Alex also likes the Taylor Pendrith higher than 5.5 birdies, you're getting a 1.1x multiplier on that Pendrith prop over at underdog. But here at PrizePicks, Matt Wallace, more than 4.5 birdies or better. The great Alex Blickel, very, very confident in that one. So again, we talk about the different sites and kind of line shopping there. If you have not signed up yet at PrizePicks, use the promo code FTN at sign up. That will get you a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. And you can get that same promotion by downloading the Sleeper app, same promo code FTN. You'll get 100% deposit match bonus up to $100 over at Sleeper. And then you can sign up with our friends at Underdog Fantasy. When you sign up with the promo code FTN over at Underdog, you will get a 50% deposit match bonus, but that is up to $250 at Underdog. And right now, all new customers with the promo code FTN going to get a special discounted pick at sign up. So again, promo code FTN for all of those sites. Sign up if you haven't yet. Take advantage of those offers. Build your bankroll. Then head over here to FTN Fantasy. Join us. You can get in a monthly package, I think right around $40. But as I say, every time I'm on this stream, the best value hands down is to sign up for the VIP Plus subscription. That's going to get you access to everything we have under the FTN Fantasy umbrella. It's $299.99 for the year, so about $25 a month. You're going to get access to all of our season-long fantasy content, our sports betting, our daily fantasy, access to all of our advanced projections, projection models, advanced statistics, access to all 3 of our Discord servers. Pretty darn good deal here. VIP Plus subscription at FTN Fantasy. Now, let's get into some of the WNBA picks here tonight. And I've got a 4-pack of picks here. And we're going, of course, to my beloved fantasy score prop board here at PrizePicks. And we're going to start with an old reliable. As of late, we're going to Kayla McBride here of the Lynx, and we're going to take a less than selection on her fantasy score prop that's set at 28. Now, visiting the Wings here in the matinee, this one is a 1 p.m. Eastern tip-off in the DFW area. Lynx 9.5-point road favorites here, a fine 164 implied total. But we've talked about McBride at length on this stream over the last couple of weeks. You know, as we suspected, the shooting efficiency coming down as we get a larger sample size, but she's still shooting well above her career averages from 3. She's down from 50%, okay, down to 46%, but still a 37.1% career 3-point shooter. She's 46% from the field as well, career 41. So again, I think Kayla McBride just coming back down to earth. And can she get hot and play a huge role in the potential blowout of the Wings here tonight? Of course, right? This team's coming off the Commissioner's Cup victory on Tuesday night, which was great for them. You know, a big payday for a lot of those players. So congrats to the Lynx, but I'm still going to ride with the less than selection here. And again, if you are a subscriber at FTN Fantasy, you got this number at 29 yesterday when I gave it out in the Discord. So obviously the industry also seeing that number at 29, taking the less than selection. It's been bet down to 28 here this morning. I still think we're getting a couple points to the good there on a less than selection. And I have 3 total unders here this morning. We're going to go less than 36 fantasy score on Aaliyah Boston from the Indiana Fever. And look, she has been pretty damn good of late from a fantasy perspective. She is over this number, I believe, in 5 of her last 6 games. But going back before that, she wasn't over this number in a single outing until 6 games ago against Connecticut, right? 18 games on the year. She's over this number in just 5. 5 of them have come in the last 6. But it's not just that this number is now getting to a point where it is too high on a game-to-game basis, right? You look at somebody like Boston, and I closed out of the tab where I had her fantasy points per minute, but it is just a hair above 1 per minute. And again, I think that is boosted up a little bit. The absence of somebody like Temi Fagbenley who was an active participant in practice on Tuesday, was in a starting role over Alyssa Smith before she went out with that foot injury. I think this Boston line is a little bit too high, even if Fagbenle was still out. But the fact that she could come back, even in a limited role here tonight, does not help the outlook from a fantasy perspective of players like Aaliyah Boston, a player like Alyssa Smith. So we'll keep an eye on that situation. But again, I like this number. And this is one that actually went up. You see the public betting this one up from 35.5 yesterday evening. And I will take the extra half point. I liked the less than at 35.5 as well. And then our third less than selection here, we're going back to that first game. We're going back to the Lynx, and we're going to take Elena Smith less than 30 fantasy score here. Again, another player that we have talked about multiple times over the last couple weeks on this stream, obviously playing the most significant role yet in her 6-year career. And look, the stocks, I think they're probably for real, even if they're a little bit inflated right now, right? This is a player that averaged 2.6 stocks per game with the Sky last season. So the fact that she's at 3.4 through 16 starts here with the Lynx makes some sense to me. But again, almost double-digit road favorites here. I think she's been producing a little bit above her head, and we've kind of seen that little bit of a pullback for Elena Smith over the last couple of games, just 21 and 22 minutes respectively over the last two against Atlanta and Phoenix. We saw her go under this number as well in the Commissioner's Cup game on Tuesday, and that was a game that got up and down. I think over 170 points in that one as well, and she still came in under. So could she go out there and put up 4, 5, 6 stocks as we've seen her do? Like, we've had games of 9 stocks for Elena Smith earlier this season. That could totally do us in here with this pick. But I do not think she should be projecting around 30 fantasy score. I think this should be more around 27.5, 28. So I like Elena Smith, also a less than selection on her fantasy score prop. And then we can wrap it up here this morning. I see Hugo in here. Good to see Hugo. Said trade Joel Embiid for a bunch of picks. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Let's close it out here. Again, we're going to take a more than selection. We're going to Connecticut. We're going to look at Brianna Jones here. Take a more than pick on her fantasy line of 27.5. And you see a fantastic matchup here tonight on paper for Connecticut going up against the Mystics. They are expected to get Aaliyah Edwards back from injury here. I could definitely see her being a little bit limited minutes-wise as well, but that improves the chances for a team like Washington going up against a team like the Sun. Looking at the line here, Connecticut, 10.5-point road favorites, just a 152 implied total, but who is going to win this game for the Sun? To me, it is the front court. It is Jones. It is Alyssa Thomas. It is DeWanna Bonner, right? Her inside-outside game. And I like taking the lowest of these lines here with Brianna Jones, because if you take a look at what her minutes have done, obviously she was on the minutes restriction starting the year, right? Coming back from the Achilles. But now up to 25 minutes a game on the season, and she's been above 28 minutes in 3 of the last 4 outings, and all three of those games were double-digit results at the end of the game when the final buzzer sounded. So she's not losing a ton of time to blowouts here. And if you take a look at her fantasy points per minute, she's like 0.06 per minute behind somebody like Alyssa Thomas. And, playing a few less minutes, but we've also seen in this stretch, you go back to the 18-point win against Dallas back on the 15th of this month, almost 2 weeks ago. That game gets into garbage time. They pull Alyssa Thomas, right? And Brianna Jones stays in. So I really like this more than selection. You talk about somebody who can rack up stocks. We haven't seen any 9 stock games this season out of Bree Jones, taking a look at the game log for somebody like Elena Smith. But Jones, very, very consistent. Again, over a fantasy point per minute player on the season. I think that is something that is going to hold throughout the second half of the year. So we're almost halfway through this WNBA season already in terms of games played. Of course, we have the Olympic break worked into the schedule this year. So a little bit compact in terms of the scheduling across the first half. But Bree Jones, I like this line, 27.5. Gave it out last night in the FTN Discord channel. Again, that Pick'em Games channel, where you will find any other picks that we have throughout the rest of the day. So if you're a member here at FTN Fantasy, you can go to the MLB PrizePicks prop tool. You can find some more MLB picks yourself. You can be in the Discord and be notified when somebody like Chris Meany, Kenneth Lee drop some picks in there, Alex Blickel dropping picks in there day after day. And of course, if there's anything else that I find throughout any of the sports we've got offered to us today from PrizePicks, from Underdog, from Sleeper, I drop those in there as well. So the last thing I will ask you to do, whether you're watching live or catching this on the replay, is hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button on this video. It helps us grow the stream. And then I will be back tomorrow, little back-to-back action. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. You will get Alex here on Saturday. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Real quick before we get out of here, Jordan Montgomery, more than 24.5 fantasy score. Matt Wallace, more than 4.5 birdies or better. And then on the WNBA side, less than 28 fantasy score for Kayla McBride, less than 36 fantasy score for Aaliyah Boston, less than 30 fantasy score for Elena Smith, and more than 27.5 fantasy score for Brianna Jones. Those are our 6 picks here from the stream today. I will see you all tomorrow, and good luck tonight, everybody.